And the latest is Navjot Singh Sidhu has returned from Delhi. He's back in Patiala. He's back from Delhi after meeting top leaders. Remember, he'd met Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi yesterday. And there are reports that he might be elevated to the post of Punjab Congress chief. And that was the buzz in the political circles yesterday, following which an upset Amrinder Singh shot off a letter to interim Congress President Sonia Gandhi. For more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Gurpreet on the broadcast. Gurpreet, good morning. Thank you for joining us. So the latest is, after meeting the top brass at 10 Janpath, Sidhu is back in Patiala. What is the latest as far as the infighting within the Congress is concerned?
Well, that we have seen the way the infighting is going on, and yesterday the Chief Minister of Punjab, Capt. Amrinder Singh, he has already written a letter to Sonia Gandhi, and what we have learned from that, it is very clear. He says that old-time Congress leaders, they have a resentment against this decision which the party high command had already taken, and moreover that caste balance is one of the major questions at this point of time. The way he says that from Jat community, Chief Minister is from Jat community, and if we are going to appoint Congress chief from the Jat community, there will be more resentment among the Hindu community also and Dalit also. So that is what we are learning and picking up at this point of time. And if we can talk about Navjot Singh Sidhu, after having a meeting in Delhi, late night Navjot Singh Sidhu had come back to Patiala, and now the things will be clear once the Congress chief Harish Rawat, Congress in charge Harish Rawat will come here, and we are reporting at this point of from the helipad where Harish Rawat will come by chopper from Delhi to Chandigarh, and after that there will be a series of meetings with Capt. Amrinder Singh to discuss each and everything. But if we can talk about the infighting, that has already been escalated in Punjab politics, especially in Congress unit in Punjab, because we have seen the day when there was a speculation about Navjot Singh Sidhu is being elevated as a Congress chief. We have seen the series of meetings are being held by Navjot Singh Sidhu in a different camp, and after that the counter reaction we had already seen from Capt. Amrinder's side, and he has also called his MLAs and MPs to hold a meeting. And yesterday, when there was a lot of rumors and speculation that any time Navjot Singh Sidhu can be declared as the Congress chief, because he had already met Sonia Gandhi in Delhi, and Harish Rawat can make any announcement any time. So we have seen since morning that speculation was going on, and after that the Chief Minister of Punjab, Capt. Amrinder Singh, he has written a letter to Sonia Gandhi expressing his views on this appointment by saying that it will further damage the Congress, and there are chances also that Congress can split any time, because the way the old-time Congress leaders, they feel they are being sidelined, and at the same time the way the decision is being taken by the party high command, they feel that this should not be done, and for that Sonia Gandhi had immediately appointed and deployed Harish Rawat, the Congress in charge, to go to Chandigarh to talk to the Chief Minister of Punjab to understand that how they will be able to placard both the leaders, because this is the crucial time. This letter has a lot of political importance at this point of time, because this is the crucial time for Congress, because elections are coming. Only 7 to 8 months are left for the elections, and at this point of time, if the infighting is not being controlled by the party high command in Congress, that this will give more benefit to the opposition party. And moreover, the way the Chief Minister of Punjab, Capt. Amrinder Singh, has already written to Sonia Gandhi, it indicates that Congress can split any time in Punjab if the decision is not being taken by the party high command to taking confidence each and every neta of Punjab, and especially the Chief Minister of Punjab, Capt. Amrinder Singh. And so many times we have seen the Chief Minister of Punjab, Capt. Amrinder Singh, has already made it clear he has already opposed Sidhu being elevated as a Congress chief, and he says that he does not want to work under him. And at the same time, we have seen Navjot Singh Sidhu has given the same statement, saying that he will never work under the leadership of Capt. Amrinder Singh. So this tussle is going on, and what we are observing for the last 2 months, that it has been widened. Somewhere down the line, it seems that the Delhi High Command, the party High Command, has failed to even resolve this matter. And at this point of time, if Harish Rawat comes and if he's not going to placard the Chief Minister of Punjab, Captain Amrinder Singh, it will be more dangerous for the Congress party in Punjab, and there will be more damage, and the opposition parties will be able to get more benefit out of this infighting which is going on in Punjab. And especially the old-time Congress leaders, they are also sulking, but at this point of time, they are tight-lipped. They are waiting for the final stamp on Navjot Singh Sidhu's elevation as a Congress chief, and after that, there will be more resentment which will come out, and there will be more indifferences which will come out from various quarters of Congress leaders. But at this point of time, if we can see
Right.
Captain Amrinder Singh, he is the one who has taken a lead, and he has already written to Sonia Gandhi saying that this decision can be damaging for the Congress, and in upcoming election, the party will face the brunt in Punjab.
Yes, all right. Thank you, Gurpreet, for that detailed and comprehensive update about the ongoing developments in the state of Punjab and the infighting that's taking place in the Congress unit of Punjab. And as you rightly said, that this comes right ahead of the elections, while the opposition parties are already preparing for the upcoming elections, with AAP even promising free electricity. The Congress is still struggling with keeping its flock together. We'll keep coming back to you for those updates. So the latest is Sidhu has arrived at Patiala. He was in the national capital meeting the top brass about his possible elevation in the Congress party as the Punjab Congress chief. All right, so that is the latest that we were telling you about the Punjab politics, and as Gurpreet and I were discussing, Amrinder Singh has shot off a letter to Sonia Gandhi expressing apprehensions on the possible appointment of Navjot Singh Sidhu as Congress Chief of Punjab. On the other hand, Harish Rawat is in Chandigarh today. He's going to meet Amrinder Singh, and the efforts are being made by the top brass to ensure that both the sides, Amrinder and Sidhu, are happy, and the efforts are made. The hectic parleys are being done. Talks, dialogues, conversations are happening in Delhi, in Punjab, to ensure that Congress stays united ahead of the elections. For more on this, I'm joined by senior journalist Vinod Sharma on the broadcast. Mr. Sharma, thank you for speaking to us and giving us your valuable time. How do you see these developments unfolding in Punjab while other political parties are preparing for the upcoming elections? We see Congress is still struggling to keep its flock together, with two of its main faces in Punjab fighting in the open.
A minor cut on the body has been turned into a festering wound, and that should be the achievement of Mr. Harish Rawat, given that he has been going around and giving statements in the press. This is not the way to broker peace between two warring factions within the party. And now he's going to Chandigarh. I don't know what he's going to go and do there. It is not, the Congress party has grossly mishandled this situation from day one. There was no need to sort of exacerbate the matters to this extent. There was a problem between Navjot Sidhu and Captain Amrinder Singh, and the top leadership should have talked to them individually and later made them sit together and talk to them and decided in the best interest of the party. Now then, you see there is a 3-member committee that calls individual MLAs and they are discussing with them. Then they file a report with the Congress president, and then Mr. Harish Rawat comes out and gives a regular interview on a television channel. This is a recipe to find a problem for a solution, not finding a solution for a problem. This is not how political disputes are resolved. They can learn from other political parties. There has been a problem in the BJP. There continues to be a problem in UP, in Karnataka, in other places. But this is not the way they handle it. Now they talk behind closed doors, and then whatever is decided, they ask their people to go to the states and get that implemented, rather than making statements. The actions speak. You don't have to use words to resolve a dispute. So it is so unfortunate, and it is. Frankly, I've never seen this kind of ham-handed handling of a political crisis within a party. A party which has full majority in the outgoing house, which is a party which is all set to regain power in the state. And look what they have turned this into, a mess, first-rate mess.
Right. Mr. Sharma, please stay on with us. Before I take another question from you, let's first listen into Congress MLA from Punjab, Rajkumar Verka's reaction on this story.
ਅਮਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚਿੱਠੀ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਸੁਜੈਸ਼ਨ ਨੋਟ ਹੈ ਸੋਨੀਆ ਗਾਂਧੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਾਸਟਾਂ ਛੁੱਟ ਗਈਆਂ ਔਰ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਰਜਿਸਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਇਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੁਜੈਸ਼ਨ ਨੋਟ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਇਤ ਵਜੋਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਠੀਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ।
Right. Mr. Sharma, thank you for waiting. So I wanted to ask you something. If you look at Navjot Sidhu's political career from BJP, he jumped the ship to the Congress and, there was a time when he praised the Aam Aadmi Party. Everybody thought that he might join the Aam Aadmi Party. Setting that aside, how do you view Sidhu's political aspirations in the Congress and the demands of his elevation and this dissent that's brewing in the Punjab Congress? Are both sides, are their demands legitimate ahead of the elections, or do you think that these differences can be put aside and the Congress party should fight as a united front, and the Congress top brass that's already stepped in should make more efforts to pacify both sides?
First of all, Mr. Rajkumar Verka, whom you just quoted, is a scheduled caste MLA from Amritsar district. So, there are pressure groups, social groups which are seeking representation. Mr. Navjot Singh Sidhu has his strong points. There is no doubt about that. He's a very gutsy campaigner, has a set of supporters. He became very popular in the countryside after the Kartarpur corridor got opened, and there was a lot of appreciation for him, his visit to Pakistan and all that. Though there was also a lot of criticism the way he handled himself, conducted himself while in Pakistan. Another issue. Yeah, you see, Mr. Navjot Sidhu, by insisting on being made PCC chief, is seeking parity with Amrinder Singh without the chief minister's position. As PCC chief, he thinks he would have parity with the chief minister without himself becoming the chief minister. And coming in line firmly for the top post of the chief minister after the elections, immediately after the elections, or a little later after the elections, when through a deal or through an understanding with Amrinder Singh. Because Amrinder Singh, this is his last election, He's 79. He's not going to... by the time he finishes his term, if he wins again, he'd be 84. So surely the party leadership can make him accept a rotational arrangement. But this is something which has not been discussed. I'm just speculating and I'm just looking into the future. What I am trying to tell you is that Mr. Navjot Sidhu, while seeking parity with the chief minister through the office of the PCC chief, is forgetting that he is a Jatsik and so is the chief minister. And any political party has to have a very balanced social combination before going into elections. Having had a Jatsik chief minister for 5 years, the party needs to project Dalits amongst the Sikhs and the Hindus, and also it needs to project the Hindu face, especially when the BJP is very weak in the state.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Sharma, for your perspective and valuable inputs on this story. We'll keep tracking these updates that are taking place in Punjab. Sidhu is back. Amrinder Singh is short of an angry letter to Sonia Gandhi, raising concerns about Sidhu's possible elevation as Punjab Congress chief. We'll keep coming back to you on these updates, important developments taking place in Punjab.